I remember the night everything broke even though I wish I didn't. You're late again, I said when Emily walked through the door. She didn't look at me, just tossed her purse on the counter. Traffic, she said. I watched her shrug off her coat like she was shedding any reason to care. Emily, it's almost 10, I said. You promised you'd be home early. She sighed and walked toward the kitchen. Ethan, please not tonight. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted too, I said. Exhausted from feeling like you don't want to be here. She paused, her shoulders stiff. I didn't say that. You don't have to, I said. It's obvious. She opened the fridge, pretending she didn't hear me. Do you want dinner? I waited for you, I said. 3 hours. You didn't have to, she muttered. My throat tightened. I did it because I care. Well, maybe don't, she said under her breath. I stared at her. What's that supposed to mean? She finally turned around. It means you're smothering me, Ethan. Everything I do you question. Because everything feels wrong, I said. You're distant. You barely talk to me. You don't even. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Then buzzed again. Then again. She didn't move. I walked toward it slowly. Who keeps texting you this late? Work, she said too fast. This late? I asked. Who at work? Ethan, she warned, don't. The phone buzzed again. My chest thudded. If it's nothing, why can't I look? Because you don't trust me, she snapped. Then prove I can. No, she said. The phone lit up again, and this time the screen angled just enough for me to see a name I'd never wanted to see. Mark Turner. Her boss. The man she once joked about for being too smooth. My voice cracked. Why is Mark texting you at 10 at night? He needed to ask about a project, she said. Then why does he need to ask 3 times in 2 minutes? I asked. Ethan, stop. I reached for the phone. She grabbed it first. The screen flashed a preview before she locked it. I miss you already. My whole world froze. Emily, I whispered, what is that? She didn't speak. Emily, I repeated louder, what's that? She pressed the phone to her chest. You weren't supposed to see that. My body went cold. So it's true. She closed her eyes. I'm sorry. I felt the words like a punch. How long? She opened her eyes again, and instead of panic or guilt or shame, she just looked tired. A few months. A few months. My voice cracked. Emily, I've been here. I've been trying. I've been. I know, she said, interrupting me. Ethan, please don't make this harder. I staggered back. Don't make this harder? You cheated on me. She looked down. I didn't mean for it to happen. How does someone accidentally cheat for months? I asked. It wasn't like that, she said. We talked. We connected. He listened. I stared at her in disbelief. I listen to you all the time. You hear me, she said. But he understands me. The words sliced through me. So that's it? You found someone who understands you and I'm disposable now. She didn't argue. Say something. I yelled. Tell me I'm wrong. You're not wrong, she whispered. I felt my knees weaken. So you're leaving. She nodded once, slow and quiet. I think it's best. For who? I asked. For you? For him? Because it's sure as hell not best for me. She wiped her cheek. I didn't want you to find out like this. Oh, how thoughtful, I said. You wanted to leave me gently? Ethan. No, I said. You owe me honesty. Why him? She looked away. He made me feel alive. And I didn't? I asked. She hesitated. Not anymore. The room seemed to shrink around me. So you just throw away our marriage because he makes you feel alive? It wasn't working, she said. You didn't even try, I said. You didn't talk to me. You didn't fight for us. She winced. I'm sorry. Stop saying that, I said. You're not sorry. You're caught. Her silence confirmed it. Everything inside me cracked at once. Emily, do you love him? She closed her eyes for too long, then nodded. It was small. Barely there. But enough. I felt something inside me tear open in a way I knew would never fully heal. And you don't love me. I care about you, she said softly. That's not what I asked. She wrapped her arms around herself. I don't want to hurt you more. It's too late for that, I said. She looked at me like she wanted to speak but couldn't find the right lie. I didn't plan for this, she whispered. For us to fall apart. I swallowed hard. Then talk to me. Tell me why you keep running from me every night. She wrapped her arms around herself. Because being here makes me feel guilty, she said. I felt the truth closing in hard. I stood in the hallway watching Emily shove clothes into a suitcase without even looking at me. You don't have to do this, I said. We can talk. We can fix something. Anything. She didn't slow down. Ethan, please stop. I've made my choice. I stepped closer. Your choice is to walk out on our marriage? She zipped the suitcase hard. My choice is to stop pretending. Mark understands me. You don't. My chest tightened. I loved you. I still do. She shook her head. Love isn't enough when two people want different lives. I felt my voice cracking. Did you ever even try to want a life with me? She grabbed her charger. I tried. I got tired. I grabbed the door frame to steady myself. So that's it? You're bored, so you upgrade to your boss. She rolled her eyes. It wasn't like that. Then how was it? I demanded. Explain it so I don't feel like complete trash. She sighed. Mark listens. He pays attention. He sees me. I saw you every day, I said. You just stopped seeing me back. She lifted the suitcase. Ethan, I'm leaving. I'm not staying another night. My throat burned. What about us? There is no us anymore, she said. I'll text you about the divorce paperwork. I reached for her arm, then pulled my hand back because touching her felt wrong now. I thought we had time, I whispered. We don't, she said softer. I'm sorry you weren't what I needed. The words cut deeper than anything she had said before. I stepped aside. Go, I said. She walked past me without a pause. I followed her to the porch. A black SUV pulled up and my stomach turned. Mark was driving. Emily walked straight to the car like she had done it 100 times. She didn't look back. I closed the door slowly so I wouldn't break something. The silence swallowed me. I didn't know what to do, so I called the only person who ever stayed when things fell apart. Jake, I said when he answered, I need you. He didn't ask anything. I'm coming. 15 minutes later, he walked in with a six-pack. Tell me everything, he said. I sank onto the couch. She left. For him. She didn't even care. Jake sat across from me. What did she say? That he understands her, I said. That I wasn't enough. Jake cracked open a beer and handed it to me. That's bullshit. You gave her everything. And it still wasn't enough, I said. Maybe I really am the problem. Stop, he said. She cheated. That's on her, not you. I took a long drink, hoping the burn would numb something. I begged her to talk to me. And she walked out anyway, he said. That tells you who she is. I leaned forward, elbows on my knees. I feel like someone scooped out my insides. That's heartbreak, Jake said quietly. It hits like a truck. I don't know how to breathe without her, I admitted. You will, he said. One day. I shook my head. She didn't even cry. Not once. Jake frowned. People like her don't cry when they're running towards something else. I just wanted her to pick me, I said. Just once. You picked her every day, he said. That's the difference. I wiped my face. I feel stupid. You're not stupid, he said. You're hurt. I looked at the door she'd walked through. She didn't even look back. Because she's already gone, Jake said. Let her be gone. I didn't answer. I just stared at the empty space where my life used to stand. I sank deeper into the couch, gripping the bottle like it was the only solid thing left in my hands. What do I even do now? I asked. Jake leaned back and let out a slow breath. First you survive tonight. Then you survive tomorrow. After that, you keep going until the pain stops running your life. I nodded even though I didn't believe him. The room felt too big around me. I just want to feel like myself again, I whispered. But nothing about me felt whole anymore. I woke up the next morning feeling like someone had dropped a brick on my chest. Jake called asking if I'd eaten. I told him no. I didn't even feel human. You need food, he said. You need sleep. I can't, I told him. Every time I close my eyes, I see her walking away. He sighed. Then get up. Well, do something. But I didn't move. Not until work forced me to. When I walked into the office, my manager, Paul, stared at me. You look awful, he said. Thanks, I muttered. Rough night. You need to stay sharp, Ethan, he said. We're counting on you for the security update. I know, I said. I'll handle it. But my head was fog. My hands shook. Every line of code blurred. Around noon, Paul stormed over. What the hell is this? He snapped. You corrupted the whole test environment. I blinked at the screen. That doesn't make sense. It does make sense, he said. You're distracted. You're not focused. I can't have that right now. My stomach twisted. Paul, I'm going through something. We all are, he said. But this is too much. I have to let you go. I stared at him. You're firing me? I'm sorry, he said, but he didn't look sorry at all. Turn in your badge. I walked out with my box of things, my head spinning. No job. No wife. Nothing. When I got to my car, I opened my phone and stared at Emily's contact. I shouldn't have called. I knew that. But I did. The call didn't go through. Blocked. I texted her. Nothing delivered. I sat there shaking until my phone buzzed. I hoped it was her. It wasn't. It was Mark. Move on, man. She's happy now. I felt heat rise up my neck. I typed back, you ruined my life. He replied instantly. She chose better. Accept it. My grip tightened until I thought my phone would crack. I swear, I whispered, I hate you both. When I got to my apartment, Jake showed up again. What happened? He asked. I got fired, I said. And Mark told me Emily chose better. Jake swore under his breath. You need help. Real help. I know a lawyer. A lawyer? I asked. For what? She already left. For the divorce, he said. You shouldn't handle it alone. The next morning I met Grace Palmer. She looked at me with calm, steady eyes. Tell me everything, she said. This will stay between us. I took a breath. My wife cheated. She left me for her boss. Now she won't talk to me. Grace took notes. Do you want to fight for anything? Assets? Support? Anything specific? I just want my life back, I said. And maybe some dignity. We can work with that, she said gently. I rubbed my eyes. I feel like I'm disappearing. You're not, she said. You're hurt. But you're still here. Barely, I whispered. She closed her folder. Divorce isn't just paperwork. It's survival. And right now you need stable ground. Emily already won, I said. She moved on like none of this mattered. Grace leaned back. People like her run fast. They don't think about the fall until they hit the ground. Feels like I'm the one hitting the ground, I said. That's temporary, she replied. I laughed bitterly. I lost her. I lost my job. I don't even know who I am anymore. You're someone who stayed loyal, she said. Someone who tried. That matters. Not to her, I said. Then stop measuring your worth by her choices, Grace said. She made her bed. Let her lie in it. Her words stung because they felt true. I looked down at my hands. What if I never stop hurting? You will, she said. Pain moves if you let it. I don't know how to let anything move, I admitted. One step at a time, Grace said softly. You sign the papers. You breathe. You rebuild. And eventually you stop bleeding. I swallowed hard. I wish I could believe that. Believe this instead, she said, leaning forward. People like them dig their own grave. Just survive long enough to watch it happen. Her voice was steady, almost gentle. And for the first time in days, something inside me didn't feel completely dark. I kept telling myself I was healing, but I wasn't sure anymore. Jake pushed me every morning. Get up, he'd say. We're running. I hated running, but I followed him anyway. You need a routine, he told me one day. Routine keeps you sane. Nothing feels sane, I said. Then fake it until it does. I sighed and lifted the weights again, my arms shaking. Jake watched me struggle. That's it. Keep going. I'm tired, I said. You're rebuilding, he replied. Rebuilding sucks. It did suck, but I kept showing up because stopping felt worse. After a few weeks, I found a contract cybersecurity job online. Jake nudged me. Apply. You're more qualified than half the industry. What if I screw it up? I asked. Then screw it up and try again, he said. So I applied and somehow I got the position. The company was small, but they trusted me. The trust felt strange after everything that happened. On my first day, my new manager asked, "How fast can you start?" Right now, I said, and for once I meant it. Work gave my mind something else to chew on. Every night, I stared at lines of code until I felt calm. Sometimes Jake called to check in. You good? He'd ask. I'm trying, I'd say. Trying is enough, he'd answer. But trying didn't take away the anger I still carried. Jake noticed it too. You talk about them less now, he said. Not because I'm over it, I told him. Because I'm tired. Tired is fine. Angry is fine. Just don't stay stuck forever. I didn't respond because staying stuck felt easier than admitting I wanted more. One afternoon at home, I scrolled through industry news. I stopped when I saw a headline about Westbridge Financial. Security breach exposes thousands of clients. My chest tightened. Of course, I muttered. Of course it's them. Jake called me right then. You see the news? Yeah, I said quietly. Westbridge is falling apart. They're desperate for cybersecurity consultants, Jake said. This is your field. I'm not helping them, I snapped. I didn't say help, he answered. I said opportunity. Opportunity to do what? Save Mark's career? Opportunity to get inside the building that broke you, he said. I froze at the thought. I don't want to be near them. Maybe you should, he said. Maybe facing it changes things. I shook my head even though he couldn't see it. No. After the call, I kept staring at the headline. Part of me wanted to close the page, forget it existed. Another part whispered something darker. Something sharper. Maybe you shouldn't help them, that part whispered. Maybe you should take everything. I hated that voice, but I also felt alive hearing it. Later that night, Jake came over. You've been quiet, he said. Just thinking, I replied. Thinking about Westbridge? I sighed. Yeah. Then say it, he pushed. Say what you're really thinking. I swallowed hard. I want to hurt him. Jake nodded slowly. That's honest. He took my wife. He took my peace. He laughed at me. So take something back, Jake said. Take control. I stared at the floor. Maybe I could. Not with rage, he warned. With strategy. I rubbed my face. I don't know if I'm that person. You are now, he said. Pain changes people. His words echoed in my head long after he left. I sat at my desk, staring at the Westbridge job listing. My hands hovered over the keyboard while anger curled inside me. Maybe I can do more than help, I whispered. Maybe I can take everything back. And for the first time since Emily walked out, my heart felt steady again. I didn't expect my contract job to change anything, but it did. On my second week, my manager pulled me aside and said, "You're doing work our senior guys can't touch." I laughed and told him, "I'm just trying to stay afloat." He shook his head. "No, you're building something. Keep going." His words stuck with me, and I buried myself in every project like it was life or death. One afternoon, while I was reviewing a messy audit trail, my phone rang. A man said, "Is this Ethan?" I hesitated. "Yeah." "Who's asking?" "Logan Price," he answered. "I've heard about you." I frowned, unsure whether to feel flattered or alarmed. "From who?" "People who don't hand out praise often," he replied. "Mind meeting for lunch?" I almost said no, but something in his tone felt sincere. "All right," I said. "Where?" "Downtown. I'll send the address." He hung up before I could ask anything else. When I arrived, Logan stood up from the booth and offered his hand. "You look younger than I expected," he said. "You look richer than I expected," I replied. He laughed. "Honesty. I like that." We ordered food, but he didn't touch his. "Tell me what drives you," he said. I stared at him. "Survival. Not ambition?" he asked. "Not yet," I said quietly. Logan leaned in. "Then let's change that." Halfway through the conversation, he dropped a bomb. "I'm buying into a failing company," he said. "I need someone who can fix its security." "What company?" I asked casually. "Westbridge Financial," he said. My pulse spiked so hard I felt dizzy. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah," I answered, forcing my voice steady. "Just surprised." "You know them?" he asked. "I've heard of them," I said. Technically not a lie. Logan studied me. "You kept your expression neutral. Most people flinch when they hear the name." Impressive control. If only he knew. "What do you want from me?" I asked. "Your brain," he said. "Your bluntness. Your ability to see threats before they hit." "And what do I get?" I asked. Logan smiled. "A seat at the table. Maybe even equity if you prove yourself." I felt something ignite inside me. "You're serious?" "Dead serious," he said. "I invest in people, not resumes." After lunch, we walked outside and he said, "Think about it." "I don't need to think long," I replied. "Good," he said. "Pain sharpens people. Use it." I didn't ask how he knew I was in pain. Maybe it showed. Over the next few weeks, Logan became something like a mentor. He'd call me late at night and say things like, "Stop patching symptoms and start hunting causes," or, "If they can't see your value, make them feel it." I listened because every word felt like instruction for war. One night he asked, "What's your endgame?" I paused before answering. "I want to rise," I said. "Then rise," he said. "But rise clean." Revenge is a great fuel. Just don't let it burn you alive. I spent every waking hour learning, planning, pushing myself harder than ever. Jake noticed and said, "You're different." "Good different?" I asked. "Focused different," he replied. "Obsessed different." I shrugged. "Maybe obsession is what I need." Jake frowned. "Just don't lose yourself." "I already lost everything," I said. "Now I'm building something new." He didn't argue after that. When Logan finally handed me the Westbridge proposal, he asked, "Ready?" I looked at the pages, pretending my hands weren't shaking. "Yeah," I said. "I'm ready." "Then welcome to the next chapter," Logan said. I nodded, feeling that old wildfire stirring inside me again. This time it didn't scare me. It guided me. As I left his office that night, the city lights flickered like signals, daring me forward. I whispered, "Emily, you have no idea what you started." The thought didn't hurt anymore. It fueled me. When Jake called and asked, "So what's next?" I answered, "I'm going to climb higher than they ever expected." He said, "And Mark?" I exhaled slowly. "He'll see me eventually." Jake laughed. "Just don't go full villain." "I won't," I said. "I just need to win. For I need to win." I walked into Westbridge with my heart beating slow and steady, like it already knew this was the moment everything changed. The security guard looked at me with confusion and I said, "Morning. I'm here to meet the board." He waved me through and I took the elevator up, feeling a cold calm settling inside me. When the doors opened, whispers rushed toward me. I heard someone say, "Is that Ethan Walker?" Another voice said, "Didn't he used to come here with Emily?" I didn't react. I just walked down the hall like I owned it, because now I did. Ava Collins, the HR director, stepped in front of me. "Sir, can I help you?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "Gather every department head in the main conference room. Now." She blinked fast. "May I ask who you are?" I handed her the folder. "Ethan Walker. Majority owner as of this morning." Her jaw dropped. You own Westbridge?" "Most of it," I said. "Please move." Inside the conference room, Derek Holt, the CFO, stood first. "This has to be some mistake," he said. "We weren't told anything." "You were told," I said. "Your previous owner just didn't want to believe he was losing control." The door opened again. Mark walked in laughing at something on his phone, then froze when he saw me. "Ethan?" His voice cracked. Emily came in behind him. Her face went pale like she'd seen a ghost. Why are you here?" I sat at the head of the table. "Because this is my company now." Mark stepped forward. No way. You, of all people, you couldn't afford something like this." I smiled. "You're right. I couldn't. But Logan Price could. And he invested in me." Emily whispered, "Ethan, please don't do anything stupid." "Stupid," I said. "Stupid was trusting you too. This is business." Derek cleared his throat. "So what happens now?" "An audit," I said. "A full review of leadership, spending, hiring, and performance. Starting with your department, Mark." Mark slammed his hand on the table. "You can't just walk in here and threaten my job." "I'm not threatening it," I said. "I'm evaluating it." Emily stepped forward. "Ethan, can we talk privately?" "No," I said. "Anything you want to say, you can say right here." She looked around embarrassed. "You don't have to do this. We had something once." "Then you should have thought about that before you threw it away." Ava returned with more documents. "Sir, everything is ready for your signature." "Good," I said. "Let's begin." Mark tried to grab the papers. "You're making a mistake." "I've made plenty," I said. "This isn't one of them." Derek sat down slowly. "What exactly do you expect from us?" "Honesty," I said. "Transparency. And the truth about the mess this place is in." Emily whispered, "Ethan, please?" I didn't look at her. "Ava, schedule one-on-ones with every team lead. And get me the files from the breach last quarter." She nodded. "Right away." Mark glared at me. "You're doing this because of her." "No," I said. "I'm doing this because you're bad at your job." Her choices were personal. "Yours hurt the whole company." Emily said, "So this is revenge?" I stared at her calmly. "Revenge would have been taking everything from you. I'm here to fix what you broke." The room went silent. For the first time, they all seemed to understand I wasn't the same man who had cried on the kitchen floor months ago. I stood. "This company will change starting today. Anyone who can't keep up can leave." Derek nodded slowly. "Understood." Mark clenched his fists. This isn't over. It already is, I said. You just don't know it yet. Emily whispered my name again, softer this time, but I walked past her without stopping. Power filled the hollow space where love used to live, and for once it didn't hurt. It felt right. As I reached the elevator, I heard the murmurs rise, but I didn't look back. I pressed the button and let the doors close on all of them. This was only the beginning. I had waited long enough, and now the future finally belonged to me. At last. Emily found me in the corner office looking over the audit reports. Ethan, can we talk? She asked. Her voice trembled. I'm listening, I said, not looking up. She took a step closer. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have left you for him. Mark pressured me. I didn't know how to say no. Her eyes welled up, tears spilling down. I swallowed hard. You didn't leave because of pressure. You left because you wanted comfort. You wanted someone to tell you you mattered more than you thought you did. That wasn't me. She blinked rapidly. Ethan, please. I was wrong. You threw me away, I interrupted. I'm not here to save you. She flinched. I didn't mean to hurt you. You did, I said flatly. Every day since you walked out. I stood, pacing slowly. I'm not the man who's going to take your apologies and patch your life back together. Emily's lips quivered. I thought maybe. You thought maybe I'd forgive you? I shook my head. No. From the doorway I heard Mark shout. What the hell is going on? Who authorized this audit? His voice cracked, revealing panic. Ava stepped beside me. We have full documentation of misconduct, Mark. Misuse of funds, complaints, inappropriate behavior. Everything's verified. Mark's face turned red. This isn't real. You can't do this. I run this company. You ran it into the ground, I said calmly. We're just uncovering the truth. Derek added, every report here has been cross-checked. The employees confirmed the complaints. Mark slammed a fist on the table. You're betraying me. I didn't flinch. I'm holding you accountable. That's not betrayal. That's business. He started pacing, muttering under his breath, snapping at employees. Where's the team lead? Who leaked this? This is sabotage. They didn't leak anything, Ava said firmly. The audit shows everything internally. The numbers don't lie. Mark's hands shook. I can't believe this. Ethan, you. I bought the company, I said. And now I'm running it. You're just a symptom of what happens when greed and arrogance meet incompetence. Emily whispered behind me, Ethan, please? I ignored her. The truth was her tears didn't move me. I could see the pattern. She regretted losing comfort, not losing me. Mark's voice cracked again. You're ruining me. You can't do this. You already ruined yourself, I said. I'm just pointing it out. He barked orders at his staff, pointing fingers, yelling at everyone like a cornered animal. Why didn't anyone stop him? Why didn't you? No one could stop the evidence, I said. And now you can't stop the consequences. Employees whispered among themselves. Some stared at me with awe, others with fear. I watched Mark unravel, his arrogance replaced by desperation. Emily's face paled further, realizing that the man she had left for was falling apart under my control, not by mine directly, but because his own choices had trapped him. I turned back to the reports. Ava, Derek, continue compiling everything. Every transaction, every complaint, every email. Make sure it's bulletproof. Yes, sir, Derek said. Already done, Ava added, her expression professional, unwavering. Mark shouted again, then stopped mid-sentence, realizing no one was listening to him anymore. His empire of control had crumbled. I walked past him slowly, feeling the calm fill the spaces that once held rage. Every moment I had spent in misery, every sleepless night, had led to this. Mark glared at me, trembling. This isn't over, he muttered. It is, I said softly. It's always been over. You just didn't realize it yet. Emily's tears continued, but I didn't look at her. Not now. Not ever, for what she had done. I stood alone in the center of the room, watching Mark's panic consume him, hearing the whispers of employees, and feeling for the first time that I was in complete control. This wasn't revenge. It was justice. And I was finally the one holding the gavel. I called Mark into the boardroom. His face was stiff, forced confidence plastered across it. You wanted to see me, Ethan? He asked, voice too loud. I didn't answer. I just gestured to the chair across from me. He sat, still trying to smirk, but his eyes flickered with unease. Let's get right to it, I said. Do you recognize these? I spread the documents across the table, Emails, financial reports, HR complaints. Mark's hands twitched. He tried to glance casually at one, then stopped. These aren't accurate, he said. I leaned forward. Every single one is verified. By Ava. By Derek. Every line, every word, every transaction. Do you deny knowing about the misuse of funds? It's complicated, he stammered. It wasn't like I meant to. Don't, I said sharply. Don't make excuses. You took my life from me. My hands slammed the table. Today I'm taking yours. He froze. His red face tightened. You can't do this, he whispered. Oh, I can, I said, voice cold. And I will. I slid the termination letter across the table. Your employment at Westbridge Financial ends today. Effective immediately. He laughed nervously. You're insane. Do you know what you're doing? I know exactly what I'm doing, I said. You've lied, manipulated, and ruined lives here. Including mine. Your time ends now. Mark's hands shook as he reached for the papers. Please Ethan, we can fix this. I'll resign quietly. I can. No, I said. Resign quietly doesn't undo the damage. You won't get a warning. You won't get a second chance. Security will escort you out. Now. He leaned back, breathing fast, glaring at me like a trapped animal. Emily, I didn't flinch. I didn't need her. But I knew she was there, outside the glass wall, watching, pale, her hands twisting in worry. She doesn't matter right now, I said. What matters is accountability. And you will be held accountable. Mark's voice wavered. You think you're better than me? I'm better than your lies. Better than your cruelty. Better than the way you stole comfort from someone else while pretending to care. He swallowed hard. You're ruthless. I smiled coldly. I'm fair. That's all. Emily pressed her hands to the glass. I caught her gaze briefly. Her tears glimmered, but I didn't soften. Not now. She'd made her choices. This was justice, not sentiment. Ava stepped in. Security is ready, she said. Mark's knuckles whitened on the chair arms. You don't know what you're doing. Everyone here. I know exactly what I'm doing, I said. You've had years to misuse your power. Now you face consequences. He looked around the room, suddenly seeing the silent approval in some employees' eyes. Their whispers weren't fear, they were relief. He started to tremble. I can't. You can, I said. And you will. Walk out with your dignity if you can, but your position here is over. Security moved in. Mark hesitated, muttering, Ethan, this isn't. It is, I said. You made it this way. Emily let out a soft sob. I heard it and I felt nothing but clarity. She had chosen comfort over love. Now karma was real for the first time. Mark was escorted out, shoulders slumping, head down, muttering excuses that no one would listen to. The boardroom door closed behind him, leaving silence. Some employees let out quiet sighs of relief. Others whispered congratulations, careful not to be overheard. I watched the room absorb the shift. Power had moved. Justice had landed. I turned to the glass wall. Emily wiped her tears, eyes wide, regret painted across her face. I didn't approach her. I didn't have to. Seeing her realize the weight of her choices was enough. Ava and Derek gave me brief nods. It's done, Derek said softly. Yes, I said. It's done. I sank into my chair, feeling the hollow spaces inside me fill with something heavier than anger, control, satisfaction. The clarity of righting a wrong I couldn't undo before. Mark's downfall wasn't cruel. It was natural. I had simply held the mirror long enough for him to see himself. And for once I was not the one left broken. This was the moment I had waited for. My life, my power, my company, my rules now. And nobody could take it from me. Silence lingered for a long moment. Then slowly I exhaled. Finally. Emily showed up at my office unannounced. I didn't want to see her, but the security guard buzzed her in, and suddenly she was there, standing in the doorway. Ethan, please. I need to talk to you, she said, voice trembling. I didn't get up. I just gestured to the chair opposite me. Sit. Say what you need to say. Quickly. She swallowed hard and sat, wringing her hands. I was lost. Scared. Confused. I didn't know what I wanted, but I know now. I love you. I've always loved you. I made a mistake leaving you. I stared at her, my chest tight. Part of me wanted to run across the table and grab her, tell her I forgave her, tell her I still loved her. But another part, the part that remembers crying alone on the kitchen floor, shaking with despair, tightened inside me. You left me, I said finally, voice low. You chose someone else while I was standing in the dark, hoping you'd come back. I know, she whispered. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I see it now. I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I can't live without you. Please, Ethan. Give me another chance. I wanted to answer, to explain the ache I carried, the nights I spent staring at the ceiling wondering how someone I trusted could vanish. But the words felt heavy in my throat. That evening I met Grace for coffee. You look tense, she said, eyes sharp but kind. I am tense, I admitted. Emily, she wants me back. She says she loves me. I trailed off. Grace leaned forward. And? I don't know, I said. Part of me wants to believe her. Part of me wants to forgive her. But another part remembers everything. The betrayal, the pain, the nights I felt invisible, worthless. Grace sipped her coffee. Healing does not mean going back to the knife that cut you. It means learning to see the blade without bleeding again. I nodded slowly, feeling the truth in her words. I loved her once, I said quietly. I loved her more than I loved myself at times. But now, I shook my head. Now that love isn't there. It's gone. The next morning, Emily showed up again, sitting on the edge of my desk. Ethan, please, she said. I've changed. I see everything now. I can make us work. I exhaled slowly. Emily, I don't love you anymore. Her face froze. What? I don't, I repeated. I've tried. I've thought about forgiving you, but the truth is the man who loved you isn't here anymore. That man broke when you left. And I don't want to go back to being broken. She shook as if my words were punches to her chest. You can't mean that. I need you. I'm sorry, I said softly. But this is final. I won't hurt myself trying to hold on to someone who left me when I needed her most. Her shoulders slumped. Tears poured freely. I lost you, she whispered. Her voice broke, truly broke for the first time. I felt a strange emptiness, not sadness, more like calm. The anger, the pain, the desire for revenge had all done their work. Karma had completed its circle. She was seeing the consequences of her choices. Grace's words came back to me. Healing does not mean going back to the knife that cut you. I had healed. Slowly, painfully, I had rebuilt myself, and now there was nothing left for her to take. Emily sobbed quietly, gripping her knees, and I stood. Goodbye, Emily, I said. My voice was steady. I hope one day you learn what you threw away. She didn't answer. She just sat there, silent, shattered. I walked out of my office and breathed deeply, feeling the weight lift. For the first time in years, the hollow spaces inside me were full of something solid. Strength, clarity, control. The past no longer had power over me. I had survived. I had risen. And this time nothing, no betrayal, no heartbreak, could touch the new me. I stepped outside, sunlight hitting my face, and whispered, I'm free. I sat at my desk, letting the silence wash over me. The boardroom drama was over. Mark was gone. Emily had finally understood the consequences of her choices. And I was still here. Stronger, calmer, finally in control. Logan walked in, smiling. Ethan, he said, clapping a hand on my shoulder. You handled everything perfectly. I knew investing in you was the right call. I gave a small smile. Thanks, Logan. Couldn't have done it without your guidance. Don't sell yourself short, he said. You rebuilt yourself from the ground up. That's no small feat. Jake popped his head in through the open door. So, did you see the news? I raised an eyebrow. Which news? The board's impressed. Employees are buzzing about how you took control, handled the audit, and didn't burn anyone unnecessarily. Even Mark's exit, poetic justice without drama. I chuckled softly. I didn't orchestrate justice. I just let the truth happen. Jake leaned against the doorframe. So, I'm proud of you, man. You didn't lose yourself in anger. I nodded. That was the hardest part. Grace appeared behind Jake, holding a cup of coffee. And I expect a bonus for emotional support, she said, smirking. All that crying over Emily and Mark. I deserve a medal. I laughed. Fine. Consider it an early Christmas present. She rolled her eyes. I'm serious. Supporting broken men is exhausting. I can imagine, I said, taking a deep breath. But I think I've finally reached the point where I can stop surviving and start living. Grace raised an eyebrow. Careful, Ethan. That's a dangerous admission for a man who's been through what you have. I know, I said, staring out the window. But I've realized something important. I don't want revenge anymore. I don't want to hurt them. Their choices hurt themselves. I just had to give the truth a place to work. Logan nodded. That's the mark of a true leader. Control without cruelty. Jake smirked. Look at you, all zen and peaceful. I let a smile slip. I fought my own war. I won it against the parts of me that were weak, broken, and lost. That was the real battle. Grace sipped her coffee. Well said. You survived the storm. Most people just drown. I won't lie, I said. There were moments when I wanted to sink. But I didn't. I rebuilt myself from the ashes. With my own hands. Jake leaned closer. And now? Now I breathe, I said softly. Now I live. Not for revenge, not for proof, not for anyone else. For me. Logan smiled. That's a powerful realization. And it's what will keep you strong, long after the battles are over. I looked around the office at the people I'd entrusted, at the company I now truly owned, and I felt a calm I hadn't known in years. The anger, the hurt, the sleepless nights, they were gone, replaced by clarity. Emily and Mark were gone from my life, but I wasn't bitter. Their actions had consequences, yes, but my life wasn't built on punishing them. It was built on reclaiming myself. I stood, walked to the window, and pressed my hand against the glass. The city stretched out beneath me, lights flickering like promises of a life I could finally call my own. I inhaled deeply, the cold evening air filling my lungs, and I whispered, "This is mine. My life. My peace. No more rage. No more desire for vengeance. Only growth. Only survival. Only the life I rebuilt from nothing, shaped by my choices, my strength, and my determination." I turned from the window, straightened my jacket, and walked out of the office. Each step felt lighter, freer, like shedding the weight of a past that no longer controlled me. The doors closed behind me and I smiled. For the first time in years I felt whole. This was the life I fought for. Not revenge. Not love lost. Not karma served. Just peace. My peace. And I would guard it fiercely.